And that is why this weekend might just decide who lifts the Super Rugby Pacific trophy. 4 games, finals implications across the board. A sold-out derby between 2 best teams in the competition. A living legend hitting a massive milestone, and one team whose entire season comes down to 80 minutes. Welcome back to Rock and Rum Rugby, round 15 of the 2026 Super Rugby Pacific season. 2 rounds left in a regular season, 6 final spots up for grabs, and this weekend alone has the potential to completely reshape the standings. Before I get into the matches, let me give you the lay of the land, because context matters this week more than ever. Right, so heading into round 15, here's where things stand. The Hurricanes are sitting top of the table, and they've been the story of this competition. 10 wins from 12 games. They are flying. The question isn't whether they make the finals, it's whether anyone can stop them when it matters. The Chiefs are right behind them in second, also sitting on 10 wins. These two are in a class of their own right now. And spoiler alert, they're going to come face to face this weekend. Third are the Blues. Fourth, the Crusaders. Fifth, the Brumbies. Sixth is where it gets interesting. The Reds, the Force, the Waratahs, and the Highlanders are all scraping for their last final spot or 2. This run could eliminate some of those teams. That's the stakes. Now, let's talk about the games. Okay, this is the one. Crusaders versus Chiefs. Friday night in Christchurch. Sold out. The whole New Zealand stadium. If you've been following Super Rugby this season, you know these two have been on a collision course all year. The reigning champions, the best team in the competition right now. 2 teams built to win the whole thing, and they're meeting in round 15 of the regular season. Let's talk team news, because there's a lot going on here. The Chiefs, big loss. Damian McKenzie is out for this one. I want you to sit with that for a second, because Damian McKenzie has been arguably the best player in the whole competition this year. The guy is running second in the Play of the Year vote. He is the heartbeat of the Chiefs' attack. The dummy, the break, the penalty boot, everything good about the Chiefs' side runs through him. His absence is massive. It changes the shape of the game completely. Watch how the Chiefs manage ball in hand without their main creator. Now on the Crusader side, Will Jordan is back. And on the other side of the ball, Will Jordan is returning. For those who missed it, Jordan has been sidelined since round 8 with a calf injury. The All Black superstar, one of the most dangerous backs on the planet, back at his home ground against the competition leaders. The timing could not be more perfect for the Crusaders. Now here's a wrinkle. Jordan actually went off with a knee injury in that earlier match between these two sides this season, where the Chiefs pulled off a stunning comeback to win 35-19. So there's E3 there. There's revenge on both sides. There's also a brilliant story on the side here. The Chiefs CEO reportedly offered a reward for fans trying to smuggle themselves into the sold-out ground, which tells you everything you need to know about the appetite for this fixture. The stadium respect, the atmosphere is going to be electric. My prediction, Crusaders with this one, not by much, but a combination of home advantage, Jordan's return, and the Chiefs missing their best player. I'm taking the Crusaders by 5 points. Allan Alaalatoa is set to become just the 3rd Brumbies player in history to reach 150 Super Rugby appearances. And this milestone is worth a moment of appreciation. The guy debuted in 2014. His debut lasted about 30 seconds. He came off the bench, missed a tackle, and got absolutely roasted by the forwards coach in the review session following the week. Laurie Fisher was not gentle about it. 12 years later, 150 games, club captain, Wallaby stalwart with 80 caps, one of the best tyke heads in the Southern Hemisphere. That 32nd debut has turned into one of the great career stories in Australian rugby. He's also been dealing with an interrupted season, a back injury, a hip knock in April, kept him out for 2 matches, but he's back and ready for the milestone game. The Brumbies are sitting 5th and fighting to lock down a final spot. The Waratahs are 7th, with their season hanging by a thread. The Brumbies lost to the Waratahs earlier this season in round 7, by just 2 points at home. Allan Alaalatoa was scared this week. It still hurts. That result has been sitting with the group. They want payback. This is a finals pressure game for both teams. My take? The Brumbies have more to play for and the firepower to win this outright. Allan Alaalatoa hitting the milestone at the ground where those coaches now work is a brilliant narrative. Brumbies by 12. Hurricanes versus Highlanders on Saturday night in Wellington. And this one is fascinating for a different reason. The Hurricanes are sitting at the top of the table. They've been dominant. 50 points scored in one game this season. They are informed. But the Rugby Pass article this week says they're rotating some heavy hitters for this one, which makes sense. The Hurricanes know they have locked up a home semi-final. They don't need to go full throttle every week at the risk of injuries. Now, some people might see rotation and think easy win for the Highlanders. I'd be more careful than that. The players coming in aren't scrubs. They're all black international level players who want to put their hands up. The Highlanders, meanwhile, are fighting for their final lives. They need points. They need wins. They're coming into Wellington with everything to gain. Here's the start that tells the story. The Hurricanes have won 9 matches in a row against the Highlanders, 9 in a row. But historically, the margins in recent meetings have been tight. My take? Even with rotations, I trust the Hurricanes to get the job done at home. Hurricanes by 7. But what's the Highlanders? They could surprise us. And then Saturday also gives us the Western Force against Fijian Drua in Perth. And for the Force, this is a must-win. The Force are currently sitting just outside the top 6. Their season, their finals campaign, depends on picking up points here and hoping results elsewhere go their way. The Fijian Drua have been an interesting thing this year. They've had their moments. They're never easy to beat at home. And away from Fiji, they still present plenty of danger. But they've also had some heavy defeats. The Force at HBF Park, with their final survival on the line, they seem to find something at home. They beat the Reds last week in a tight one, which shows they can hold their nerve. But here's what makes this match even more interesting for the Force. They've shown across the season that they can compete with anyone when they're firing. The question is whether they can put it up together for 80 minutes when it truly matters. For the Drua, this is also a story in its own right now. It's been announced this season that Moana Pacifica will be folded from Super Rugby after this year. Whispers are swirling about the competition's future. The Pacific teams are fighting for relevance and results. My take, I'm backing the Force to get the job done at home. They need this more. Crowd will be loud. Force by 12. Right, so here are my round 15 picks. Crusaders over Chiefs. Biggest upset of the round prediction. Chiefs missing McKenzie, Jordan back at the Crusaders at home. I'm going Crusaders, 5 points. Brumbies over Waratahs. Milestone game for Allan Alaalatoa. Revenge on the menu. Brumbies by 12. Hurricanes over Highlanders. Hurricanes by 7 at least. Western Force over Fijian Drua. A must win for the Force. So the Force by 12. Drop your predictions in the comments. Like the video if you're pumped for the weekend. Subscribe if you want the post-match reaction on Sunday.